All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on something that's totally changing the way people get data from Instagram. We're talking about a tool that's becoming a secret weapon for marketers, creators, and businesses of all sizes.
So let me just start by asking you this. Does the thought of manually scrolling through Instagram just hunting for bits and pieces of information make you tired already? You know what I mean? Tracking your competitors, trying to find influencers, figuring out which hashtags are actually working. It feels like a job that never ever ends.
Yeah, if you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are in very good company. This is a huge frustration for pretty much anyone trying to use Instagram for their work.
So let's dive right into that problem. Let's talk about the manual Instagram grind and why collecting data by hand is just so frustrating. Just think about these real-world scenarios for a second. You have small business owners who are literally losing precious time every single day just to check what their competition posted. You've got marketers whose eyes are glazing over from scrolling through what feels like an infinite number of profiles. Creators are basically just guessing what's trending. And then you have agencies that spend, and I mean literally weeks, just pulling together data for one client report. It's not a good use of anyone's time.
And for those who've tried to get a little more technical, well, the old ways weren't much better. This user just says it all, right? The alternative was trying to mess with these complicated scrapers and proxy services that cost a ton of money and honestly were just so unreliable. They were always breaking down. It was a complete headache, both financially and technically.
All of this pain, all this wasted effort, it just makes you think there has to be a better way to do this. There just has to be. And that thought, that search for a better way, brings us right to the solution. It's like finding a master key to all that locked up data. Let me introduce you to HikerAPI. So what is it exactly? Well, the best way to think about HikerAPI is exactly like that, a master key. It's built to unlock all of Instagram's public information. Now, the API part might sound technical, but all it really means is that it lets you get this data in minutes, not hours. And here's the kicker. You don't have to write a single line of code.
And I really want to stress this part. This is not some super complex tool that's only for developers. It was built for the people who actually need the data, the marketers, the business owners, the creators. It was designed from the ground up for you.
Okay, so you've got this master key, this new superpower. But what does it actually let you do? What's the practical stuff? For starters, you can get a complete snapshot of any public profile you want. We're talking follower and following counts, their bio, any public contact info they've decided to share, and you can even download their profile picture. It's the whole picture, and you get it instantly.
Next up, you can really analyze what's working for anyone. You can pull up every single post from an account and see the likes and comments. You can download the photos and videos. You can even track their story highlights and recent stories. So you're not just guessing what content is popular anymore. You have the actual data right in front of you.
And this, right here, is where it gets incredibly powerful for research. Just imagine being able to get the entire follower list from a competitor to find new customers, or finding every post that used a specific hashtag you're tracking, or content from a particular city. You can even see the exact list of people who liked or commented on a certain post. The possibilities for discovery are just massive.
But what really makes HikerAPI stand out is how it's designed to completely avoid all those old problems we talked about. So let's break down how it's different. I mean, this testimonial from Sarah, a marketing manager, pretty much says it all. A task that took her 3 hours every single week is now done in 5 minutes. That's not just a little time saver. That is a fundamental change to her entire workflow. That's hours she gets back to focus on work that actually matters.
And you know, Sarah's not the only one. We're talking about a community of more than 4,000 people and developers who put their trust in HikerAPI every single day. That kind of user base, that's a huge sign of its reliability.
And check this out. The platform's power is just staggering. It handles between 4 and 5 million data requests every day. That breaks down to over 300 requests every single second. This isn't just a simple tool. It's a seriously robust piece of infrastructure built to perform at scale. So, how does it solve all those old headaches? Well, first, there's zero technical setup. They handle everything behind the scenes. Second, your personal Instagram account is never, ever at risk because they use their own giant infrastructure. Third, you get results instantly. We're talking seconds, not hours.
And fourth, their team is always updating the system, so when Instagram makes a change, HikerAPI just keeps on working.
Let's just do the math here for a second, because this is where it really clicks. If you were to manually research, say, 100 profiles and analyze their posts, that could easily eat up a full 8-hour workday. With HikerAPI, doing that exact same research and probably getting even more detailed data takes you about 15 minutes. The difference is just night and day.
And that brings us to the real value proposition here. Because it's not just about the price of the tool. It's about the real cost of all the time you're currently wasting.
The pricing is super transparent. It's all pay-per-use. You can start small, and as you can see, the price per request drops like a rock as your needs grow. And maybe the best part, you only pay for successful requests. If for some reason the data doesn't come through, you don't pay a cent.
And for anyone listening who's thinking, you know what, I could probably build my own tool, just listen to Mike, an agency owner. They sank 2 months and $15,000 into it trying to build a custom solution, only to give up and switch to HikerAPI. It just shows you the huge hidden costs of trying to reinvent the wheel.
And it's really important to make this clear. This tool is operating responsibly. It only ever accesses public information. It's the same stuff that you or I could see just by going to a profile on the Instagram app. It just does it at a scale and a speed that no human could ever possibly match.
So, all of this leaves us with one final thought to chew on. After seeing the comparison, after hearing the stories, the question really isn't if a tool like this is going to save you time. The real question is how much more of your valuable time are you willing to keep wasting doing things the old, slow, manual way?